What is going on, everybody? It is VinVin520 finally back making more video. Well, not really more videos, but it's a video nonetheless. This video is kind of long overdue. As you've seen, I haven't been posting in a while, ever since the Metal Gear stuff I posted, and that was mainly because I had school stuff that was going on, studying hard and all that, trying to get good grades, and well, I pretty much did come out with good grades by the end of the semester. So hopefully you're happy to hear that. And this is the last Extinction map that came out, and I figured the first thing I should post should be an Extinction map because I, genuinely like Extinction as a game type. And the newer maps actually just came out, I think, as of yesterday or something like that. So I'm going to have more footage of that within the next coming days. But I figured I might as well show you guys some of the stuff from this map already and just give you like my thoughts and opinions on it since I didn't do it at the time. So this map is basically like a tanker, I guess, a cargo tanker, and you just, I don't even know what the storyline to this is, to be honest. I just care more for the gameplay than anything, and this is Xbox 360 gameplay. I don't know if you could tell, well, you can tell now that the achievement popped up, but yeah. I don't know if you noticed that little yellow guy I just shot right there. He's basically a new form of Seeker, and he basically gives you like 1,000 points per kill. But he shoots out these little, these like weed type things, and they like attach to the wall and things like that. And when they do, what happens is they shoot these like bullets at you. And much like any other gimmick in Extinction, I felt when I was first playing the map that these shots that he fires at you, they do way too much damage, and they're way too hard to keep track of. Well, not that they're hard to keep track of, but you're trying to kill 1,000,001 other monsters and everything, and then you gotta worry about those stupid little things attacking you. See, like, I don't know, well, obviously you can see how hectic this is right now, and it's something you get used to, like, the more you play with Extinction, but I always find, like, that they give you, like, a lot of distractions, which adds to the challenge, certainly. And I don't know how many relics I have on at this particular point in the game that I'm playing, but I know some of the footage I had, I was using 3 relics, and I was doing really well up until I got to the final boss, and then the game like screwed me over. But I'll explain like what happens or how I got screwed over by the time I finally get to the boss. But yeah, like any Extinction map, I like them because they're basically full of action like the whole time. It never really slows down. And don't get me wrong, I do get annoyed sometimes when the game throws like 1,000,001 things at you. And if I'm not mistaken, I was only using 1 relic with this playthrough just because, forget it. I guess I wasn't really trying to go that hard. But this map also, they had a new system that they introduced into Extinction, which is not really new if you played zombies. And basically it was like a crafting table type system where basically you could, you find like the various random parts to like these these machines or whatever, and then you can just build them right on the spot, so it was convenient that all you had to do was find the items, and it's not like they're really hard to find, you look for these little like work boxes. I don't really know what you would call them. Oh, they're like toolboxes, excuse me. Yeah, so you find 3 toolboxes after you pick up the schematic of whatever the device you want is or whatever, and then after you pick it up you can just craft it, provided that you have all 3 items. And some of the items are better than the other. Like, if I'm not mistaken, there's a Hypno Trap, but there's only 1 variant of the Hypno Trap, and that will, no matter what it is, it'll hypnotize 2 enemies into fighting on your side. I don't know if you saw the Rhino. It actually had the blue hue over it, and he was on my side a little bit earlier, and that like really helped me a lot because there was a lot of enemies coming at me. There's the Electric Trap, and then there's 3 variants of it that you can build with 3 different parts. I think the only part that really actually matters when you're building the Electric Trap is the battery, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not really sure. I wasn't paying attention. I think I have the Electric Trap in my possession right now, and if I'm not mistaken, the nucleic battery, when you find that, that's how you get the best Electric Trap available, and it does become like really extremely helpful during some of these later parts in this level, because like I said, this level gets really hard. And there's also Venom X schematics. So if you remember the last map, they introduced the Venom X, which was basically like you shoot the projectiles that the scorpions would shoot out of their tail, and you have like manual detonation of the explosive or whatever, and then it leaves like an AoE cloud that enemies can walk into. But now they basically added elemental variants of the Venom X. So There's an electricity variant, which I think is pretty good. There's a fire variant, which I think is my favorite one. There's a poison variant. And then there's like a purple variant. And the purple variant is not really so much of an elemental as it is you get the same ability as the new Seekers. So like I said, those Seekers, they shoot the little pods out. And basically, with the electric variant, you get to shoot those pods as well. And those pods can be very helpful. But as a whole, I think that the worst of the 4 selections is the purple one. Just because, you know, you have to shoot it, and then it takes time for the things to spout or whatever. Then, you know, you have to depend on them being accurate. Whereas I could just shoot the Venom X, it'll explode, kill like 6 enemies right there, you know. So that's what I find to be more helpful. And look, there's a little guy right now. If you saw the little projectile that came out of him, that would be one of his little spores. One thing I like about this map that they did is that, you know, when you're not making any money, it literally tells you that you're making no money. And I like that feature, but I also don't like that feature because it makes me feel like I have to spend the money that I'm using. And sometimes that makes me feel as if I'm wasting my money on things that I don't necessarily need. But at the same time, you know, it's not really a loss because I'm still going to get that money back. I don't know. It's just one of those little minor things that distracts me from gameplay. I don't know how you play or anything like that, and I don't even know if you own these maps, but it's just one of those things that bothers me. One thing I actually learned about the Venom X on this map, too, that I did not know prior to playing this map is that the Venom X's actually damage you when you blow it up in your vicinity. Like, I swore that didn't happen in the last map, but it's like a very minuscule amount of damage. But you know, once you get really like deep into fighting all the enemies and everything, and they start doing good amounts of damage to you, then it's kind of like, you know, you're gonna get wrecked if you fire that thing recklessly. But sometimes it calls for it because you see how hectic this gets, you know. Like, I don't honestly think Extinction is for all types of players, especially if you're not like willing, or if you can't handle having to do multiple things or having to kill multiple enemies at one time. It gets really rough in that sense. They also added a new system in Extinction where they have teeth, and basically the teeth allow you to get upgrades for further Extinction playthroughs. But there's no easy way to unlock teeth. Like, the easiest way I've heard to unlock teeth is to basically just play the very first level of Extinction over and over and over and over again, and supposedly the more relics you have on, the more teeth you get when you beat the level. So the max you could get is, you get 1 for beating the level and then 1 tooth for each relic. So the max you could get per level is 6 relics. But there's like very few people that could beat it with 5 relics. Like, I think I beat the first level with only 3 relics. I haven't really ever tried to do 4 relics. I think I got to 4 relics. I got to the end on 4 relics, and then I just messed it up and I died and lost. And then I was just like, forget that map. I don't ever want to play it again. Because it's really hard to get that far just to lose, you know, it sucks. But, yeah, they have that. So you can get all kinds of different upgrades. Like, you can have stronger armor-piercing rounds, which I think I have. You can have, like, electric shock vests. So, like, if the enemies hit you, they'll take a little bit of damage every single time. So it's things that, like, make it a little bit easier, and it makes it, like, a little bit more fun. Like, you're actually working towards something. But, you know, like, I liked it, and then at the same time I didn't. Like, I'm sorry that I'm, like, liking and disliking everything at the same time, but it was, like, I feel like all the effort I put into Extinction before this particular point in time, you know, to not get rewarded for it afterwards. But what do you expect? It's what happens. But yeah, overall, I really like this map. As far as weapons go, on this map, I do not recommend using an LMG. Just specifically because, like, the sheer amount of enemies that attack you is ridiculous. And me personally, I like to play Weapon Specialist, which has Sleight of Hand. And even with Sleight of Hand, I felt like I was at a disadvantage with killing the enemies. You know, I felt like the reloading takes too long. So I kind of started getting used to just using the Honey Badger all day, because the Honey Badger does good damage. It has a high fire rate. You can actually get a faster fire rate if you can find, like, the special, you know, what is it, weapon attachment for it. So that's actually really helpful as well. I don't know if I have it right now, but I know, like, you know, when you do get it, the Honey Badger is just OP. So that's really what I kind of stick to through most of my playthroughs. It only costs you like $2,000 and you buy it like right at the beginning of the game. So that's my weapon of choice for this particular map if you haven't beaten it yet. Yeah, but overall, like, for me personally, after getting used to it, this map isn't that hard, and even on my first couple of tries, I made it relatively far. Like, my very first try, I made it to the next room, and I didn't think it was that bad. So, you know, if you're kind of, like, adept at this game type, then it's not really going to be that hard for you. And you basically get the gist of what's going on here, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit to two special events that happen. But basically what happens here, after you get into the next area, you know, you clear out all the hives and everything, and then you have to press a button, and it'll fill that room with chlorine gas, if I'm not mistaken. And the idea is to protect those 4 generators. And I don't know if they tell you this the first time you played the map, but I remember, like, the very first time, this is where I actually lost, because of the fact that the, I really don't remember if the guy tells you whether or not you have to defend those little generators or not. But, like, I remember not knowing what was going on until all the generators were destroyed, and I was like, oh, this really sucks, because, you know, I think from the beginning of this map to this point is, like, at least a good half an hour, like, no matter how long or how quick you play. Like, it takes a while, always, to get far in these Extinction maps. So when you lose off of some stupid nonsense, it's, like, it's annoying. But, one thing I figured out about this area is that it's extremely OP if you have double sentry guns, and it's really not hard to get double sentry guns. All you have to do is complete the challenges, which are not as hard to do in this map as they were in previous maps. Like, in the very first map, they would occasionally hit you with challenges that were, like, impossible to do, provided the area you were in, excuse me, like killing enemies with traps and things like that, because all the traps in that level were horrible. And there was only, like, very rare occasions where you could actually do that. I'm sorry, like I said in one of my previous commentaries, for some reason whenever I start commentating, my mouth gets extremely moist, and then I have to, like, try to, like, hold it all back and everything. So that's happening to me right now, and it's annoying as fuck. But what are you gonna do? So yeah, this part, like I said, is really easy. All you have to do is just sit here with your 2 turrets, and your turrets will do most of the work, provided, you know, that you kill the little stragglers that the turret doesn't take out. And this part is really easy peasy, to be honest. Like, I don't know why this was even necessary. I guess it has something to do with the storyline, but me personally, I would have rather just been able to continue to the next boss, because this to me just is like a waste of time. Like, every single last time I just find myself, like, bored during this part, because it's not even like you get attacked by that many enemies at this section. And I mean, don't get me wrong, those turrets really do help, but you don't get attacked by nearly as many strong enemies, or just, like, the amount of enemies in general is not as serious as when you just complete a normal hive. Like, I think every hive in this area that you destroyed, you get attacked by at least 1 rhino and at least 1 phantom. And, like, those are much harder than killing these little newer guys. You know, like, the newer guys are annoying, don't get me wrong, but they're basically, like, just extra armored seekers, so they're not really that hard to beat at all. And, so yeah, again, let's fast forward to the boss fight. And now we're finally at the boss fight. And to be honest, you know, once you get used to it, it's really not that hard. And I don't mean to keep saying once you get used to it, it's not that hard, because once you get used to anything, it's not hard. But, like I said, you know, this boss fight, I feel like they could have given you a little more tips before you jump into it. Because this boss, he does this, like, AoE sort of attack once you do enough of damage to him. And it basically covers, like, the whole floor. And then you, like, have to run from base. Like, the only safe places of the map once he does his little AoE are the corners. And basically, you can run to a corner that, you know, the AoE will still be damaging it, but it doesn't look exactly like it might be, you know, hurting you in that area. Or it doesn't look like it would hurt you, I should say. And that's what happened to me on the one run I did of this map with 3 relics. That's what happened to me. Like, I spawned, or when he finally put his little red AoE attack that you'll see in a little bit, he put that on the ground, and I basically ran to one corner of the map thinking, okay, I'm going to be safe here, but then I wasn't. And so I was like, okay, let's go to another corner of the map, but then I was not safe yet again. And it was horrible when that kept on happening to me, because I was like, you know, what the hell is this? And not to mention the enemies. There's not 1,000,001 enemies that attack you during this section, but you do get attacked by enough of guys that it's like, it's constantly annoying. But for the most part, all you really have to do at this part is shoot him in his eyes. and he'll go down. You know, you buy these little turrets, shoot him in the eyes, he goes down pretty easily. He's really not that hard of a boss to take care of. He doesn't have like any direct attack towards you unless you're standing next to his side, and like this is the most important thing you have to do. You just have to watch your back for the most part, and he like I said, he goes down really easy. Just like maybe 4, 5, 6 times that you have to do this. And so like, yeah, here's that AoE attack. So like I said, you know, you have to run. It damages you little by little. It slows you down. It takes away your shield. You're getting attacked as this is happening. And you know, see how I'm in this corner right now? Basically on my run where I had 3 relics on, it looked exactly like that. It looked just fine, but I was still taking damage in it. And I had to run literally through the whole map, and it was my last down, and then I got wrecked by the time I finally was able to make it to where I was going. So that kind of screwed me up real bad. But yeah, this is basically the whole boss fight. Nothing interesting. He did this, took away all my health, and I downed myself with the Venom X. This is where I figure out you actually do damage to yourself. I was kind of upset, but you know, had to keep it pushing. I was trying to get the rest of my achievements. So let's fast forward to the end of the fight. And like I said, basically, you know, you're just trying to kill him. But as I was looking this over again, I realized that this is actually that gameplay that I told you about, where I couldn't find the right corner. Like, I thought I was going to be safe where I was, and then I just got wrecked right here. So, you know, it was just that quick. It was really annoying. I think I had to do the map again, but I was so mad I just didn't want to do it. At this point, I was like, forget it. I'm done playing for today. But then I sprung back not too long after this. I think I actually did sit down that same exact day because I was like mad as hell. So I was like, no, I am beating this. Like, I don't even fucking care what happens at this point. And I was a little better equipped this second time doing it. But I just figured, you know what, let me finish it today. And I did. And here you go. Here's basically the boss dying and me not caring, evidently, because I beat the map once or twice before. Oh, nope. I guess I cared enough. But yeah, he got wrecked. Either way, guys, I hope you thought that this video was relatively informative, and I will be playing the newer map, so you could expect to see that video in a few days once I beat it and have some relatively decent tips to give on it. Hopefully you watched this whole video. If you did, thank you very much for watching up until this point, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Peace out.